Hey, and welcome to the Autoimmune Mom podcast, a place where moms living with autoimmune disease can be seen, heard, supported, and strengthened emotionally, spiritually, and practically. And before we get into today's guest, I just wanted to take a second and put your attention on our socials. We have a Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel called the Autoimmune Mom Podcast. Please check that out. You can check on the links in the bios, and I have a free guide to the 20 things I wish I had known about motherhood post my diagnosis. So just shoot your email in there, and I'll send that right off to you. And without further ado, let's get into today's guest, Rebecca. Rebecca is coming from Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to learn more about her and her journey because I think she's kind of got some similar stories to myself, but
Yeah.
different at the same time. So, welcome, Rebecca, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm honored. I'm honored to have you. So let's start with your story, your autoimmune story. When did that start for you? What were your symptoms? All of that jazz.
Okay. mm, So, 2002, my husband and I got married. We've been married 24 years. And we moved to Dallas, Texas in 2007. Um, we um, were there. We had no family there. And we were wanting to have start a family. I got pregnant. This was in 2009 and 2010. I got pregnant. And this was my second baby, actually. I I miscarried years prior, and it was early, but I was pregnant again. We were ready, excited to, we were trying for a family. And so I was pregnant and it was early, but something didn't feel right. So I went to the doctor. They got it all checked out. They gave me a Rogam shot. I didn't know what Rogam was.
Yeah.
And um, I guess because my blood type is A negative, they were just like, we should do this just good measure because
Caution.
we're not sure if you're able to keep the baby because it's not looking so good.
Yikes.
So I was just like, gosh, this is hard. So lo and behold, I was actually traveling from my mom and dad's house here in Oklahoma back home to Texas on a Sunday and by myself. And I was in the middle of miscarrying that baby. And that was really, really difficult. So I did.
I'm sorry.
And yeah,
I've been there, and that happened to me. Part of my early story of
yep,
rheumatoid with
yep.
carriage. So I'm really sorry.
Thank you. Same to you. I I feel like with a lot of moms and with other ladies I've talked to before, they will say their journey with autoimmune started when the hormones kicked in for pregnancy. And I'm like, okay, there's something with hormones and I don't know what. Well, I went home, everything, was fine. We knew we wanted to try again the next month for, whenever they cleared me for that. But I was working in a dental office. I had done that for 15 years and I was front office and typing was my thing. And all of a sudden, my hands, this was within weeks of me miscarrying and weeks of me getting the Rogam shot. All of a sudden, my hands were hurting like weird. And I
Yeah.
never felt that before, both hands. And it would also happen maybe when I was brushing my hair. I had no idea. So I was like, what is this? I'm young, I'm 29 years old.
Yeah.
Like, what? So, and I felt pretty healthy. But we were under a lot of stress in Texas. But I got pregnant again, my third time, and that one is perfect. But I didn't have any diagnosis yet. I didn't know I needed to go through that chain of primary care, then over to somebody else. And then they're like, nope, not us.
Yeah.
You need rheumatology. I'm like, what? So, and I was out of, it was uncharted territory for me,
Yeah.
complete. I was shocked, did all the blood vials that everybody does. And immediately the doctor, that rheumatologist, here I am, 5 weeks pregnant with my son and, afraid of miscarriage, of course.
Of course.
And right there in the doctor's office, they're looking at my body. And there's a female doctor, a wonderful doctor there in Dallas. She was like, "You have Raynaud's." She
No.
said, "You are purple all over." And I'm like, "Never heard of that before. It's been this way all my life." I mean,
Oh,
w-
really? Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
The purple hands and toes.
Yeah.
I thought that's just normal. Um,
Not really.
right? And I'm just like, okay, okay, cool. And, lots of questions, of course, but it was like, okay, we're going to do blood tests, get you back in. And they did. They got me back in pretty short order to let me know that, hey, your titers, your SSA, SSB titers are extremely high. You have got lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. She said, your skin is showing signs of Sjogren's. You've got Raynaud's. And I was by myself, no family. My husband was in my,
Yeah.
and I'm just sitting there and it was devastating.
Yeah. I'm sure you were like, "What are all these things?" Like, normal people
Yes.
know it. I mean, that's what I did. I left the doctor's office and I called my mother, and she's a nurse, and she was basically crying. This Irish Catholic woman who never cries was like, and then I Google and I'm like, "Whoa, this is not good." This is
Whoa.
good, you know? So I'm sure you were, what does all of this even mean?
What does this mean?
Yeah.
I had no idea. My mom was diagnosed with MS when I was a teenager.
Okay.
And my grandmother on my mom's side had a form of ALS.
Okay.
And I don't know what type that was, but autoimmune was already in the family a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's not going to happen to me.
Right.
I was just, I'm healthy. And I watched my mom so I was familiar with ailments, physical ailments. But I had no idea what lupus was. I've not really, I heard of it, but I was like, I don't know.
What does that even mean? Right.
Yeah. Yep. And so all I remember is sitting in that doctor's office and that rheumatologist called it rupus. She said, "It's rupus." I said, "What's rupus?" I said, "Rheumatoid arthritis and
And
lupus."
lupus together. That's
It's like,
funny.
okay, cool. Rupus. But I remember this nurse, though. She was just like, "I see your diagnosis, and I just wanted to come in here and tell you, I'm just so sorry." And I thought, is this a death sentence?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want that. It actually made me a little angry, to be honest.
I can understand that for sure.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I mean, I'm stuck with this.
Yeah. I don't even know what this is, and you making that comment is making me feel very scared, I would assume. Yeah.
Scared and worse about it.
Yeah.
So they were like, you're early in your pregnancy. You've had a couple of miscarriages. She was like, you need to get into not only I didn't have a gynecologist yet. I did not have, she goes, but you need a fetal cardiologist specialist and you need another type of the cardiovascular type of um, specialist doctor to monitor your baby's heart and things and the growth.
You
And
must
I was just,
there. I don't even have a word for how you left there.
it was devastating.
Yeah.
Really was it, and it's so sad because I felt so alone in that.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm just going to be honest. No family, of course, around. My mom was struggling with alcoholism at that time, so I didn't have my mom to call or
Yeah.
to talk to about it. My dad called me a lot, but it was always to talk about my mom.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, my husband, who never drank in his whole life, became an alcoholic. And he was abusing alcohol really bad. So he was not there for me. So
It's sounding to me like you just had one stress layered on top of another stress on top of another. And I'm finding that when I talk to women, there's never not stress involved in this picture.
maze. Yep.
And what can we teach our kids about that? dealing with stress, like, I'm always like, how do I turn this into a positive for my kids? But, like,
Yeah,
it's just gotta be part of the message we're teaching our kids is stress is a killer, and we gotta learn how to deal with it. Because
we
when we
do.
don't, not that you weren't dealing with it, but that's a lot to have piled up on some one person,
Yeah.
one after the other. So I don't
And
mean
you're
to.
holding a and
Yeah,
you're holding a job, and you're trying to start a family, and you just don't know what anything looks like.
right,
And my husband was just completely oblivious, and bless his heart, he could not be there for me. He was dealing with his own struggles of new jobs and climbing a corporate ladders so that I could stay home. That
right.
was my primary thing. So I had to pour a lot of grace on that and just realize, I've got to lean in to the Lord during this time. And that's actually what happened is I went straight to a Mardell's, a Christian bookstore after those appointments. And I went straight to find a necklace that had the mustard seed. I found a mustard seed necklace. And, if you have faith like as tiny as a mustard seed, and that was for my unborn son that I just thought, whatever this looks like, whatever this is, I'm trusting God that He's going to see me through whatever this is. And sorry, my cat is wanting to say hi. um, but so I got that. I got some books, on different things for faith building, just to build my faith and to find God in the midst of stuff like this. So that helped me a lot.
I love that.
And it helped. And so I got my appointment scheduled with these specialized 3 doctors. I had to see them once a week, every week, my entire pregnancy. They they scared the bejesus out of me, to be honest.
I'm sure that.
Um, they were basically saying, "This is not the right time for you to have a baby. You need to be in remission if you'll ever get there."
Yeah.
And
Well, you're not God, as you
yeah,
know,
correct.
where you see
Yeah.
your son and your daughter. So,
Yes.
good thing
Amen.
good thing they don't know what they're talking about.
Thank the Lord. Even though, that's what we do. We put a lot of trust and faith into what they're saying. And at 29 years old, I still felt very young. And there they are, they're in their 40s, let's say. And I thought they know everything. There's special doctors that know it all. So I
Yeah.
really trusted them, and their opinions and respected them. But I quickly realized I have to use my own judgment with prayer with that pregnancy. I was told that my titers were so high, my blood titers were so high that my son would either be born stillborn or he would need a pacemaker because my body was attacking so many different things. It was going to attack his heart, the lupus, and he'll need a pacemaker right after he's born if he survives.
My gosh.
Yeah. So I was given the opportunity, and I know they have to do this. This is just mandatory, but they gave me the opportunity to. They said at 16 weeks, he said, "We need to know now. Do you want to go ahead and just abort?" He was like, immediately, I no hesitation. No, no, no. I'm just going, and I don't know how they felt, but I really spoke.
Good for.
Um, kindly to them,
Yeah.
but I have I believe in Jesus that he's going to direct this step of with me and my baby,
Right.
and everything's
It's
going to.
meant to be. It's in God's hands. It's not in mine.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So I went along with it, and I went through all of those appointments, and that was a long journey of weekly appointments going back and forth to Dallas and where I lived and everything. But Um, they were amazed. Let's say this. There was a lot of miracles throughout that journey because they said, "We do not realize how in the world your body is in full on flare attack and it's not attacking your baby." Like they could not believe that nothing was wrong. So I just thank God for that time. And he was born completely healthy, nothing wrong with him. They had to do tests after.
Such an important story to share with other young moms because
Yes, ma'am.
not everyone would have made this decision that you made, and they would have given up. I getting emotional even talking about it. A baby for yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's a story that needs to be told. So I appreciate.
I Thank you. Thank you. And and that's from other moms out there too. I've run into several moms that have lupus and they said, "We've just decided we're not going to have children because I don't want that worry, that
The
fear
great. Yeah.
of miscarriage after miscarriage or whatever."
Do you want to hear something funny? I have this little Bible verse jar.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is what my second one, I haven't done a lot, but I pulled one out. You pull a piece of paper, it's got all different verses on there. And the one I chose right before this and prayed over this was, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness." That's Isaiah 41:10. That's the one I pulled out of here right before that. And now we're talking about like, fear not. He's got you.
He does.
He's got
He
you.
will meet you where you are. That's what I know. He will meet you wherever you are. And I was, I grew up in the church. I actually went to a Bible college for a couple of years right after high school. I felt built up in my faith, but yet my journey with my husband took me somewhere else where we lived a big secular lifestyle. He's rock and roll and concerts. And I'm just like, so I had to find my way through all of this and still get to Jesus somehow and get like in my home. I'm the one who has to say, we're going to church, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But it's God. I don't know. God is good. He has shown up for me in so many ways throughout our entire 24 years that I'm in awe to where my own husband, who grew up Lutheran and isn't I mean, he's a believer, but he hasn't seen true miracles happen. And he's seeing bits and pieces. And he's like, I don't know how that happened. He said, that has to be God.
It has
So
to be.
even in these things, it's giving him that
Yeah.
this is God, you know?
Yeah. I mean, similar situation with my husband. I grew up in and he totally different. They went to church and things like
Yeah.
that. But he was,
Yes.
I would say, probably a non-believer, even as much as 6, 7 years ago. And we moved to Charleston. Grew up in the Boston area, and we moved to
Yeah.
Charleston, and this is Bible Belt, and it's more acceptable and more talked about. And
Yeah.
it's a long story. I always tell him we moved here because I have rheumatoid, and the winters were killing me up there. I just like could not handle the winters anymore, and so we moved here to escape them. And it's been life changing, and it's a very difficult decision because I have a huge family up there, and you know what it's like to live without family. So it was not an easy decision, but one we made that in the best interest of our family and my health. And in the meantime, I like to tell him I had to get sick so you could be saved, because since moving now he is, you know
Praise God.
he's been opened, his eyes have been opened, because it's just more acceptable here than it is in the Northeast for whatever reason. We could go on a whole podcast about that.
Right.
But yeah,
The
so
culture.
the culture, exactly. So I'm right there with you, and I appreciate you sharing that part of it. Like
Yeah.
I said, I'm from an area where you don't talk about this kind of thing, and
Mm-mm.
I might turn some people off with the podcast if that's the case, and those people aren't for us, and that's fine.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
too.
So now you've been diagnosed. Your baby is fine. How this I think is important for mothers in this situation. And I had babies after my diagnosis, so I can speak to it too.
Mm.
How did it feel to have an infant and this diagnosis now?
So, what was interesting is at some point during my pregnancy with Andrew, I had slowly the pain in my body started going away.
I think that's common.
Yep. It went away right after his birth, though. I felt paralyzed in my bed. And I didn't know what that was. I never experienced that. I was really scared.
Yeah.
But that didn't last more than a few days. Um, I was nursing him, and through my year and a half of nursing him, I had no symptoms at all. None.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think that the
thought,
body is, like, protecting the baby through your milk, and, like,
yeah,
that's why I think your bo when people feel better women feel better during pregnancy because their immune system suppresses slightly to protect from fighting off the baby, and it's just enough. This is my layman's interpretation of it. I don't know if it's exactly scientifically proven, but in my eyes, that's what's happening. The immune system is suppressed, so it doesn't fight the baby off. And then you don't want to be feeding the baby all kinds of inflammation, so it stays suppressed while you're breastfeeding, and then all hell breaks loose is kind of
yes.
what happens.
Yes, that's what normally happens, and in my case, we moved from Texas. I was still nursing Andrew. He was not even a year old yet. We moved from Texas, went to Wichita, Kansas for my husband, got another job in an oil and gas company there, and we were not planning to have a baby yet because we didn't even have a house yet. And we it was kind of more of a surprise because I was still nursing Andrew. Yes, I had,
Yeah,
breakthrough cycles, but we always did the rhythm method, always rhythmed it out. And I guess I felt I didn't know that I was, at that time ovulating.
yeah,
So we got pregnant with my daughter. And I called my doctors in Dallas right away and said, "What do I do? I'm nursing a baby and I feel like my body's trying to miscarry again." And so the doctors, thank God, they got me back, but they said, "You've got to bind yourself up. You've got to completely stop nursing your baby, unfortunately." And they put me on she said, "You need the progesterone and you need baby aspirin
yeah.
daily." I forgot all about that with Andrew. They said for me, my blood type, the way it was, I had that, my blood was really thick, I
Yeah,
guess.
clotting. Yeah,
Antiphospholipid syndrome, I think is what it's called. And so they said, get on, because I was with my daughter who's 13 now. I actually thought I was miscarrying her because I've had a full on period, full breakthrough. And I was in tears crying about it because I didn't want to go through that again. But as soon as I said on a baby aspirin, I got on it and the bleeding stopped.
wow.
And I thought that would be the opposite, you
Yeah,
would think,
yeah,
but it wasn't.
yeah, wow.
So, long story short, on that part of it is from nursing my son and I go right into pregnancy, those hormones were still there. So,
Yeah,
therefore, I never had any breakthrough to go into symptoms
okay.
with my RA, lupus, or anything.
Was that all you were taking, was the baby aspirin? And good for you.
Yeah, just baby aspirin, and your vitamins and stuff like that. That's
Yeah,
all I had to do.
yeah,
So I was grateful. I had to do the exact same thing with her that I did with Andrew.
yeah,
She was perfectly healthy. I had no worries. I trusted God through that.
yeah.
There's a huge story behind her birth too. It's a lot. It's really devastating to be honest, but all I know is I didn't have anybody. I had Jesus with me for her birth and my son's birth. And that's who I leaned into and that's all I needed. I didn't realize he's all I needed. But had my daughter and she's healthy and witty, but
What's her name?
Brooklyn,
Oh, that's a beautiful
Brooklyn.
name. I'm
Yeah.
Brooklyn. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, I guess, so I nursed her, thank goodness, for 2 years. I was able to nurse her, and it was a great bond that we had. But as soon as I quit nursing her, because I was kinda done, ready to be done.
it's a long time.
Yeah, because she was co-sleeping with me too, and I was just like, "I am done being a cow."
You did it for 3 years straight, so that's a long time.
It's a job,
Yeah, yeah,
but I loved it. I loved every minute of it because it was I felt like a good mom,
yeah.
Um, made me feel like I was doing something.
I was gonna say, when they told you to stop, did that with your son, Andrew, did that bring upon any, like, I feel like guilt is a lot of things with this disease. There's a lot of guilt we have as parent, as a mother, things we can't do, things we wanna do, things we
Yes,
should do.
ma'am.
we have to do that we don't wanna do, all of these things. And I was unable to nurse my daughters. My milk just never came in, and I had so much guilt about that, and I had to let that go, obviously, but, that's a part of it too, for sure.
It is. Like you said, that guilt is real. It's there. And my son at that time, when we were first pregnant with my daughter, he co-slept with us too. That was kind of I know that's very controversial,
Yeah,
co-sleeping or not. It worked for us, and it was fine, but it was really hard because my son was used to, if he woke up in the night, he was used to mom's able to give him something.
yeah,
And I had to turn over away from him. And it was just, it's hard.
cooking.
Yeah. So, but we figured it out, and he is obviously wouldn't remember now, but
Yeah, I know. But it's part of your story, and it's part of
yeah,
what you went through, for sure.
what emotions that you carry.
Yes. Ye yeah,
But
it probably feels like yesterday in one sense, and then a
it
1,000 years of
does.
yeah.
Man, that's a good point. It really does. It feels because I feel like it's a part of our DNA almost.
Yeah,
It's in there.
those years, yeah,
Uh huh.
for sure.
Um, Good or bad, but after I decided to quit nursing my daughter, what I did not realize. So I was totally fine, remission, no, nothing. Everything was great. I was taking the kids to the park. I was being super mom completely and taking care of my older brother's little children that were the same age as mine. And I mean, it was fantastic. And then within a few months, about 3 to 4 months, hellfire.
Yeah. Mhm.
Katie barred the door. You are about to go through something that I've never experienced. Yeah.
I assume that to be the hardest part, maybe, of your experience as a parent at the very beginning there. Do you think that
Hmm.
I mean, I don't wanna put words in your mouth, but,
Hmm.
um,
Absolutely.
just remember when my girls were babies, I couldn't brush their hair. I was like, it's just not an easy time. It's not an easy time anyways, and mine are 14 months apart, so I got 2 little ones. But
Yep.
I was babysitting my nephew who was in the middle.
14 months apart.
They're 14 and a half months apart. And I watched my sister's little guy who was, like, kinda right in the middle of the 2 of them. And I'm like, "Who would give 3 ba who would do that? Why would anyone do that?" When I at the time, I just thought, "Sure, I'll watch him. I'm home. I can't get off the floor, but we'll figure it out." That's what we do, right? That's what moms
Yeah,
figure it out.
you do.
Yeah, it
You
was
power through it.
exactly. So her hair wasn't brushed today, like, I'll put extra conditioner in it tonight when my husband gets home. I don't know.
Well, how old is your kiddos?
They're now 13. Stella just turned 14 in January, and, Georgia will be 4 13 in a couple weeks.
Okay, so our kids are about the same. Andrew's 15 and Brooklyn's 13.
So, and in 7th grade, is that about it?
Yep.
Yeah, I got
Yep.
7th and 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's amazing.
Our stories are very in line here,
They are.
which is crazy how the world works. Because I
It
don't
really
know
is.
you.
Yeah.
For anyone listening, we just met on a Facebook group, and this is the first time we've ever spoken, so and I just think we'll go back to saying it, God is good because he put the right people in the path so far, and I'll thank him for that.
Amen. Amen.
Yes. So, getting back to motherhood and all of this, a lot of people will say with autoimmune disease and, you and I have rheumatoid in common, it's very visible that, lupus, you have more of a visible thing, I think people can see, but with rheumatoid, you know, it's not as visible. So I guess my question would be, what do you want people to know that they can't see about raising children when you have this type of thing? Or maybe if you don't even want people to know it, like what's one thing that you would say has been the hardest part about having this invisible disease? You look great.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I know you told me that you're not great. So,
No,
you know,
this is the current season that I'm in right now is actually the hardest that I've walked through.
okay.
And I've been, diagnosed 16 years ago. In March will be 16 years. And out of all of the years, this one has been the hardest because I finally, you want to be strong and you try your best to be as normal as possible. Sorry, I'm like breaking down on this. But
Take your time.
but I finally broke down and decided I got to have a walker. I've got to have a walker to get around because I feel like I could fall down. I have arthritis also in my back and osteoarthritis going on, plus disc degenerative disease going on. So I just had a procedure done in my back for those whatever radio of where they burn the nerves. They go down into the nerve and burn those nerves
My mother
off.
might be doing that soon because she's got the degenerative disc disease and all that, so
Yeah,
that's kinda like they don't wanna do it, but I'm sure same thing with you. Yeah,
didn't want to do it. And I thought, I'm scared about this.
yeah.
But he said, your problem is not your disc degenerative disease. He said, your problem is, he goes on the MRI, he said, you've got a lot of arthritis and osteoarthritis in your spine. And he thought I was a nurse or something working in the hospital because he said, where it's located, he's like,
Not
that's
thinking.
what we see. I said, nope.
Wow.
But I actually just had it done right before the end of the year and I couldn't bend over. Let's just say that. I
Yeah,
could not bend over to grab. I love gardening and I was doing some stuff, yard work, and I could not bend over to grab a shovel. Like, could not. And so it was, a lot of pain just even walking, but I did have this procedure done with a spine specialist. Um, and I'm so grateful. So for your mom, it really worked and it has helped me tremendously.
I love that.
Although I'm having other issues with the RA everywhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I
Well, if
had
it's
to break.
falling off, we'll be grateful for that, but, um,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that the RA is it's very cyclical, like, there's
It
highs and
is.
lows. I'm just always so grateful when I feel good because
Mhm.
like, tomorrow I could wake up and it could be totally different
Yep.
and
Every day is different.
every day. Yeah.
And my husband and kids, they've had to understand that. At first they're like, why is it different? Well, what's different is I might overdo myself. And I don't know if you're this way too. To
1000%.
overdo yourself or get in, if you're cleaning, chemicals actually affect me, the smell or on my hands. And I'll go right into a flare, the butterfly rash. And you feel like you have the flu. You feel like you need to sleep for a long time. Yeah.
It's
So,
very true. My kids sometimes will say and my kids don't know me any other way. I was diagnosed before, so they don't know me any other way, but it almost my daughter's 12 and she said the other day, "I just didn't realize that most moms don't sleep as much as you do." Like, and she wasn't saying it in a like you sleep too much kind of a way.
no,
It's just
no,
like this awakening of like and like they'll say things sometimes, when they were younger. Now they're getting it in they're understanding it more. Like, why does so and so's always go on vacation? They're always hiking mountains and they're always doing this. And I'm like, well, rheumatoid arthritis is very expensive. And we've spent a fortune trying to make me feel better. And of course you don't say that, but that's what I'm thinking in my head. It's
of
like
course.
we've had to make sacrifices for this in more ways than one.
Hmm.
Financially, emotionally, physically. I mean, we literally moved 1,000 miles away to help. We've done everything we can do, but it's just the effect it has on children, and mine don't have a clear like yours don't either, like before and after. I know there's some women I've talked to that the kids have to grieve the mother that they had before when they get diagnosed at a different age. Like
Yeah,
I always
that's
say,
right.
when you get diagnosed, you have to grieve the life you thought you were going to have. And the life that you did have, you no longer have it. And even if the medicines work, the first one they give you works for you, which almost never happens,
No,
you still have this new thing that you have to grieve that. You have to go through it.
you
And
do.
your kids do too. Your husband does too. And it sounds like you guys had a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot on the plate and just having to fully understand it, because we still didn't have family there for us.
Yeah.
Kids are little. They rely on you quite a bit.
So when did you move back to Oklahoma?
We moved back to Oklahoma when my daughter was 1 years old. So
Okay.
we weren't in Wichita for very long. We were in Dallas for like 6 years, Wichita for one. And praise God, we got back home because that was our end goal.
Yeah.
And we've been here since.
So were you in an active no, because you were breastfed her for 2 years, and then
Mhm.
you were back in Oklahoma when you got into the active flare.
Yep, yep. And my doctors, they were like, you need to not nurse your babies. You need to quit it and don't try and be super mom there. They're like, get on hydroxychloroquine. You need to get under control because you are going to have damage if you don't.
Yeah.
I didn't follow that method. And I did what I wanted to do. And I stayed off of the drug route for a very long time, holding off until it got bad enough.
Yeah.
And I finally just broke down when my daughter was about, I think, 4 or 5 years old. I actually went straight to my PCP to get actually because this disease can cause severe depression.
Yes, for sure.
And I still am to this day on the same antidepressants I've been on, two of them. And I thank God for them.
Yeah,
I don't,
shame in that. I mean,
yeah,
you gotta take care of yourself first,
yeah.
emotionally, physically, all of it. Yeah.
Because you're seeing I don't know about you, but my kids' friends, parents, their moms watching these moms and they have it's on social media too, of course, but they have it all together. They are the soccer moms with the tennis skirts and they're tan and they're beautiful and they're able to jog down the street or
Go for a
eat.
run, go to the gym,
Yes.
build a sandcastle on the beach,
Boom.
even little things. I can remember sitting on the couch and being just really sad that I couldn't get down and build a castle because no one was home to help me back up because I couldn't push myself off the ground, and my knees were so bad I couldn't roll over and just, you know, kneel and stand up. So I did a lot on the couch with them, like dragging them over, but, you know, and you're very alone and isolated in those years, especially if you lived in a winter environment in those years because you just kind of are unless you're, like, working and your kids at daycare all the time. Like, I stayed at home with my kids too, so we were alone in the house doing day-to-day life, and I did have family nearby, but I'm not one to ask for help unless I don't know, I'll let you know when I ask for help. Like, it's not something,
Right?
and that's a pride thing, and I'm working on it. Um,
It's hard for us. We stop.
yeah, yeah. Uh
We don't ask for help.
We don't, and we should. I was walking with a friend yesterday, and we were talking about God and everything, and she's like, you not wanting to ask for help is a pride thing, and that's prideful, and that's not what Jesus wants, and that's not what." And I'm like, "Oh, talk
You're
about."
right. You're right. Keep talking.
I'm like, "All right, I'll listen." No, but it's all there, and you're just so isolated in those younger years. Even if you are healthy,
Yeah.
especially when the snow everywhere and, it's just you don't leave the house much, and then you add on this, and you're just very sad and depressed, and this is my life, and working through all of that, so I can understand for sure the depression part.
Yeah. It's pretty intense. And so you just have to do what is best for you. I mean, I got a hysterectomy and that was great so that I did not get pregnant,
Yeah,
because they put fear into you like you on these medicines, you cannot get pregnant. I'm
yeah,
like, well, I'll do this first. So there's a lot of things that you think about and realize but you do learn to figure it out. I will say this. Stress is the devil when
mm,
it comes to you want to find yourself in a big flare, go through grief and go through stress.
yeah,
Those are the two things that
1,000.
I would say really just it it completely just flipped a switch. Where it got the worst was when my son was 6. My mother-in-law had pancreatic cancer, and we lived pretty much in the hospital with her for 3 months. And we thought she was getting better. She didn't. Long story short, she passed away, and I was with her the night she passed. And nobody was there. No one was there. And I didn't realize how traumatizing. I'm so glad I was there,
Yeah.
to
Well,
be
that's
with her.
actually it's an honor to be with someone when they pass, I think. I've
Yeah,
not
right.
had that. My mother, does it how many times, I don't know. For some reason, she's tends to help people at the end of their lives. She's a nurse, like I said. So she's been there
Mm.
for a lot of it, and it's an honor, but it's not an easy honor.
You don't realize what it does to you.
Very heavily on people, especially if your first one and someone you love so close. So,
I was
sorry.
it was a thing of I was pushing and pushing and pushing to get to the hospital and be there for my father-in-law and be there for her, for all those months during the summer. And then all of a sudden, when she went down and passed away, we were not expecting that. I wound up where I wasn't able to walk, and it's all because of the grief, stress. It has spiked. It hit really hard, and then yeah, your whole entire body just goes nuts,
Right.
and it's out of control.
It
So
absolutely. And then you have
yeah,
a 4 and 6-year-old or however old.
yes.
Yeah.
They were 4 and 6, and I yet hadn't been on I just kept refusing to be on medicines. I just was, because my mom was totally, with her MS, was into natural
Yeah.
healing and using superfoods and eating right and all these supplements, great things. And I mean, power to those people that can do that
Yeah.
and they're happy with that. I can't. I went straight to the doctor because I
Yeah.
needed something quick.
Yeah. I've done both. I've been years without medication, done all the holistic stuff, and
You did.
now I'm like in the middle. I swung the
Okay.
pendulum like this, and then now I'm like in the middle because I was a psychopath about everything I ate and put on my body. And then I had a stressful situation and I was miserable and couldn't move and I could not get back. And then I just took whatever they told me to take and didn't pay attention to anything, gained a ton of weight and was miserable. And now I'm kind of like, okay, I need to be in the middle here somewhere.
That is crazy you're saying that. That is exactly where I'm at.
There's always the pendulum swinging, and for me, I can't eat gluten. I stay away from nightshades. I do all these things. And then I have a sauna. I love my infrared sauna and I do whatever I can.
Amazing.
I do the best I can in the season that I'm in, and that's
Yes.
really the best we can do, any of us. We can only do the best we can in the season we're in, and that's okay, and we have to give ourselves grace for that. Like, we're just doing the best we can.
Right. That's right. And making the best decisions that we can for the moment.
Agree. What works today might not work next week, and it's
Hmm.
okay. We can
Yeah.
trial and error our way through this.
Yeah.
So are you changing medications right now? Are you
So I was on a medication for a long time for both lupus and RA, and my doctor had to get me off of that. That was the one. It was amazing and it worked and it kept me in clinical remission
what
for
was
a long time. It was what type of drug was it?
or what
It was leflunomide. It was the name.
okay, I've never
It's
heard of
a
that.
sister drug to methotrexate.
Okay.
So, but after being on it for like 3, 4 years, my body, I guess, decided my liver couldn't take it anymore, I guess. So he said, we got to switch it up. Well, since then, and this has been a 2 year journey, but he got me on the TNF inhibitor biologic stuff. And so I have done 4 different biologic medications that, they get delivered here and you inject yourself with.
Yeah,
That was scary all in itself too.
sure. I did that too.
But and that's terrible because it's such a long journey. I've the consistent drug I've been on is hydroxychloroquine, but you do these drugs and you have to wait. You have to give it time
Yeah,
to
like
see.
6, 8 months, some of these take yeah,
Yes,
and
they can take time.
realize that, and you know in your heart it's not working, but the insurance company makes you check these boxes before they approve your next one.
Awful.
But why do we even have doctors? We should just go straight to the insurance company and say, "What will you give me?" Because the doctor's opinion doesn't mean anything anymore.
Nope, it
It really
doesn't.
and until you've tried all of these things, you just have to do whatever they tell you to do. It's wild. It's wild. The insurance,
It's a
it's the biggest scam in American history, if you ask
I
me.
agree. 100%. It is a big scam. It's terrible, and that's what I'm actually in the middle of right now is they won't approve. I tried all the stuff that I do at home for injections, and they did not work. Some of them gave me bad side effects. One I was allergic to, and I still had to keep doing it with Benadryl. And the other one made me start migraines, and I went into a long journey about 6 months, migraines about 3 to 4 times a week. And I was getting Botox injections into my skull just to help with the migraines. But it was all due to the drug. It
Yeah.
triggered it. So it's like, this is nutso. So it's not an easy journey. I was not in a place of wanting to. I had already done when paleo and keto were really big. I jumped on the keto wagon and did the whole thing, the whole gamut, because I was heavy.
Yeah.
I could not lose weight
Yeah.
after having babies. I was 180 pounds. I'm 5'8", 180 pounds, 200 with the kids. But I did the whole keto thing because I wanted to see, will that work? Whatever. And I did it for about 6 weeks. It is not a sustainable diet for me,
No.
having that amount
It's
of
actually not that healthy after prolonged period of time.
bingo.
Yeah.
So I did it. I felt really good on it. I was not on medications during that time, but it was good. It was a good to see what it was going to do with my body. But I dropped fast, 25 pounds fast, and I maintained that for the longest time until now. I am back up because of steroids. So I'm basically, my doctor has given me injections, lots of injections of steroids. And then I'm on a high steroid right now. And it's not even working. It's not doing what I was hoping it would do. So I'm waiting, kind of like you were just talking about the insurance. I'm still waiting. My doctor wants me on a certain infusion, and my insurance says, no, no, sorry, we're not going to we want you to do this other one.
Yeah.
You know,
First.
this is what we'll pay for.
This is the cheaper one we want you to try. I've been on the same infusion for 3 years, but I'm in real estate. My husband's company doesn't offer health insurance, so we have, like, a private insurance that we pay for out of pocket, which is a bajillion dollars. And so every year I have to get reapproved, and so this year I had my last infusion in November, and then I just got it last week. So I went December, January, most of February without anything. And thank God I feel good, but my fatigue came back so bad, all because the insurance company, and now I've been on this medication for 3 years and it's worked great. It's the best one in 16 years I've ever had.
Which one is it? Do you mind me asking?
It's called Orencia, and it's a 1 month. It's only it's by the time I get there and leave, it's about an hour. Like, a lot of these infusions take 3, 4, 5 hours. And this one is not. It's quick, it's easy. And the reason that I got on it is because my rheumatologist doctor's office was doing a study where it was a blood draw. So they asked me if I wanted to take part of this study, and all I had to do was a blood draw, and it would tell me. And I was doing all the TNF inhibitors and everything, nothing was working, like years of all of them. And this, whatever study was, tells you that if you had the right blood type or DNA or whatever, that these TNF inhibitors are going to work for you, or they're never going to work for you. So this is the science
Interesting.
that they have. Like, this is a thing, because it came back that no, these drugs are never going to work for me. They put me on Orencia, which the insurance company would approve because of this test that I had saying that nothing was ever going to work over here. And now it's the best one in 16 years that I've been living with this disease because I had this. So this is wild. It's wild information that nobody knows, that there is some kind of blood work out there that you can do to tell you if medications are going to work or not.
Please sign me
I
up.
wouldn't. Day one, they should be giving this test to people. And maybe that's coming. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know, where that someone probably buried it somewhere, because my infusion's $10,000 a month that they bill to the insurance company. So methotrexate's a lot cheaper, so they probably buried it somewhere,
Mhm.
if I had to bet. That's a whole nother topic.
But yet we're lab rats until
Uh-huh.
is what it feels like.
That's because it's true. They don't care. Like, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be Christian. really don't care. And they are not the good scientist people that are working trying to figure this all out. They're not the people that we buy health insurance from, like, you know, Susie down the street who's a health insurance provider. It's not those people. It's not the doctors that are it's the people in the higher ups, the big pharma, the medical system in and of itself, and then insurance companies. It's just a wreck.
And you know what's sad, and I hate to say this, and this could totally piss people off, but I almost wonder, do they have a cure? And they're just not going to do it because big pharma.
Probably. There's nobody pushing to cure rheumatoid arthritis. It's I alone get billed $10,000 a month for my infusion. That's what I see the paperwork that comes in the mail, and that's what it's billed. So who in their right mind is trying to solve, like, there could be some scientist somewhere whose mother had it and they really are trying hard to figure it out, but is probably going to get suppressed because it's too much money involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. We could probably piss some people off, but
Yeah.
when I went into this long enough that we had to learn this the hard way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have to advocate for yourself in the doctor's office. And I never even talk to them about anything holistic I do because they just don't listen. They don't care.
They don't want to know.
I want to know that, gluten puts me into a coma for 3 days and I can't move. I'm so tired if I eat that. I can't do anything, can't get out of bed. They don't care. Just don't care. So,
No.
unfortunately, and I do think they're good people, they just are taught in a system that has,
They're sold into it.
yeah, they're educated by schools that are funded by big pharma.
Yes.
That's where that's where the problem lies. But we could go on and on for days on that, and
I
I
know, right?
too much longer. I think we've touched on pretty much everything that I kind of wanted to cover, but just in like clothing, what do you think for moms out there at any age, young moms, older moms? What would you say is looks like a good day for you as a mother?
Mm.
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one. Honestly, I would say being able to just show up for my kids and where I'm truly present for them. I think that's really big. When I'm feeling good, when I feel good, they totally see me. They have poured on grace with me through this journey. I have taught my children I mean, at their age, they should anyway, but I've taught my children how to cook, and I've taught them how to do their own laundry because mama is going to fail you in cooking. And you have laundry to do, mama can't do it.
Yeah.
My hands aren't working. My
Right.
body is not working. I don't have the strength. So I'm grateful for where they are right now in being teenagers, but like last night, my son, before he went to youth group, he cooked dinner for the family
Yeah.
and it was great.
You're raising a capable young man.
Yes.
And you have been forced to teach them that because, and I have too. There's days that I can't do it. But every parent should be teaching their 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid how to cook. It's a
Yeah,
basic life skill.
it
And
is.
we look at it as guilt. Like, I feel so
Yeah.
guilty that I can't do it. But you know what? Anybody should be able to whip up spaghetti at any point just to feed
Yes.
you know? So it's crazy how in our framework, we feel bad that our kids might know how to do these things, but in
Mm,
reality, they should know how to do these things anyways. Uh,
they do.
yeah.
And they love it. They're happy to do it. And it gives them purpose or they feel joyful.
I said this the other day, like, asking for help, going back to asking for help, even if it's from your kids.
Yeah.
My mother always says, I brought my mother up a bunch today, but she'll always say to me, "You need to ask for help because people want to feel good about helping. You're robbing somebody of the joy of helping you in a time when you need it and the fulfillment that they're getting out of that because you have too much pride." What it all comes down to.
It's what it comes down to.
Yeah. And so I always try to think about that. All right, let me bless somebody else by letting them bless me.
Yeah.
That's the way that I have to reframe the brain work there.
And to be honest with you, I broke down finally and just said, okay, I can't get the rest of my stuff put away in my house. We have stuff everywhere accumulated because we moved here in June. But I mean, it has been the biggest cluster of a house of boxes and just things that had no home. and I have empty cabinets, but nothing in them.
Yeah.
But everything you can't walk around here because it was so I finally broke down and got I hired a company to come in and you know, I tell you what, I think what is really interesting is I felt like I had to explain myself. I felt like I needed to tell them ahead of time. My husband is X,
Yeah.
he can't help. Two, these are all the diseases that I have. And
Yeah.
I have a walker, by the way, and I can't hardly sit on the toilet without getting,
Yeah.
my dishes are undone. My bed is not made. My carpet needs swept. And I've got stuff. I said, I felt like I had to excuse so many different things of this is not normal,
Right.
but this has been my normal. And I felt like not that they were so kind and non-judgmental,
Yeah.
but I have that feeling in me and I don't know if it's just what it is, but I feel like I have to over explain myself to tell him the why.
You feel, I think maybe this isn't the right word, but I feel this sometimes too. I feel shameful that my floors aren't done or like I've let that bathroom get the way that it's almost like lazy. Like I
Yes.
don't want anyone to realize, to think I'm lazy
Yep.
because I'm not. I'm just
That's what
not. And
I thought.
then, it is a mind game. It's a mind game that we're constantly playing. And
We are.
You know, you do have an excuse to why your house looks like that, and so you do want people to know that this is why. This is not my normal me. I've just had a procedure on my back and I can't do these things, and I understand that, but we should be able to not have to have those feelings because 'cause they're
Yeah.
extra. That's an extra layer of the onion of autoimmune.
It is. And for the people that either don't have a family member with any of it or they've never experienced it in any way or know about it, they're clueless. They're just like,
There
because you look normal,
Yeah,
look normal, but I'm not. And you clean the kitchen, I'm ready to go lay down for a while.
yeah,
That's just how it is as I've gotten older. I'm be 45 this year, but I had them, they said, "Where do you want us to start?" It was a group of 3 ladies, super kind. We paid out the nose for this, but I'm so grateful because it got me somewhere
yeah,
finally.
yeah.
But she's like, "Where do you want us to start?" And I was like, "Not in my house." I was like, "Please, please." I did not want them to even come to a
You don't wanna
bathroom.
be judged either. You feel like you're being judged, and
Yeah,
this is not your fault. So
yeah.
it feels extra intrusive to be judged, even though they weren't judging you. If you are thinking they're judging you, and it's not your fault. Yeah, I understand.
Poor them. They had to bring heaters into the garage, kept them closed, and did my garage, bless their hearts. And then she said, "Tomorrow, I'm coming tomorrow. We finished your garage. Tomorrow we're coming." And I said, "Why? You've got more to do, don't you, inside?" And she goes, "We're coming inside." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Gosh, okay. I'm just gonna, you know what? It's that feeling of pride,
yeah.
shame. I've got to let it go.
Give
I've
it to
got
God.
to release it,
Yes. Give it to
you
God and
know."
let it go, and you'll be lighter and happier for it on the other end.
Bingo. And I was. They're
Yeah.
coming back in March. I had to cancel them because I'm like, I am not doing well. I don't feel well.
I
I
need to
don't
make
want anybody in my home.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's all
So,
true too.
yeah,
Well, Rebecca, I've really enjoyed our time, and I don't want to
me
keep you
too.
too long, but I could talk to you for days. I think we can
Same.
be friends now. We can have a friend in
Yes.
Charleston, and I'll have one in Oklahoma.
Yes, absolutely. This has been a great opportunity, and I really pray that it reaches the right women, that it encourages them, helps them. I want those people to know that those women to know that they're definitely not alone in this. It feels isolating, but if you connect with people, the right people, I would say my number one thing is get rid of people who drain you, the stress, take
Amen.
from you. Make sure you're there for your kids because I believe they bring me the most joy. But when you feel like you can, if you're a believer, get into church, get into a good Bible based church, listen to podcasts. I tell you, Christian podcasts have really built my faith up to where I'm like, I got to get back in church. And
Yes.
so I got back in church and I'm doing Bible studies with ladies and they are there. When other people have failed me, these pastors or these women that have so much love to give because I feel unloved. I feel unworthy. So they are pouring into me right now. And I feel like those kinds of things is everything I need. I'm feeling that love and realizing, Jesus loves us so much. And I'm trying to get there to understand that he does. He cares about me. And I hope that if it touches one person, that's all that
Well,
I
you touched me in a
yeah,
beautiful way, and I loved your story, and
thank
I
you.
tuned it for you, but I love it for you at the same time.
Thank
You
you.
know,
Yeah.
it's obviously brought you closer to God, so you can be
Yes,
grateful.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. It's been wonderful. So he's whatever this journey is supposed to be, there is a reason for it. And it's for what you're doing. This podcast to help others. This that could be the reason why.
Yeah.
I think that we do have something that we can give and God bless you for that.
Thank you, Rebecca. I love you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. I love you
Well,
too.
let's be good friends, and
Yes.
I will, and
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you.
that's it. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
You. I loved meeting you, and
Love meeting you too. And
the last time we'll talk.
I know it won't be and I'll be praying for you and your strength and whatever this walk looks like for you, and for me too. So
I love it.
thank you.
God
Yeah.
bless you.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Have a good day. Bye bye.